Waggoners Walk, Omnibus. After Rob's revelations to Dickon, they were both in a somewhat unsettled state of mind next morning.
Damn.
So what happened?
I dropped a plate.
Yes, I can see that. Oh, all right, don't tell me then. You had quite an orgy.
We had a dinner, that's all.
You didn't even clear up afterwards. You must have been busy.
Just belt up, would you, Sophie?
Oh. It went wrong. I'll give you a hand.
There's no need.
Oh, I will all the same. Shall I wash or dry?
I'm quite capable of doing both, thanks.
Okay, I'll wash. Didn't Dickon... I mean, wasn't he, Well, isn't he...
What?
Or didn't you take the plunge?
Look, I wish to God I'd never told you if you're going to read great situations into everything. I just wanted to give Dickon a meal because it was his birthday. Because he's a friend.
There's another plate over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
The reason we never got around to the dishes was that we polished off most of one of his presents afterwards.
Oh, what was that?
A bottle of scotch from his sister.
Oh.
Had a great night.
Good.
Okay. And I told him all about me as well. You should have seen his face. I don't know which of us was the more embarrassed. After that, we more or less agreed to forget about it. And we both got steadily paralytic. We didn't really say much more.
And how's Dickon this morning?
Oh, I wouldn't know. He left for work by the time I got up. Anyway, that's it, Sophie. And we don't have to refer to it again.
I'll bet he's got a king-sized hangover.
Ooh. Ooh, never again.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
You're tidying your desk.
What do you think this is? Already kindergarten?
No.
Oh. No. The kindergarten mistress is always nice and motherly. Not till higher up the school you get the sadists.
Where is everybody?
2 are out on stories and 3 aren't in yet.
Aren't in?
Well, I haven't seen them.
What time did you show up?
9 o'clock. Okay.
You're very aggressive this morning, aren't you?
You're very aggressive every morning.
Rough night.
No.
Are you all right?
Perfectly, thank you. I won't reverse the question because it's quite clear that you'd reply in the affirmative. And as in my opinion, anyone who thinks he's all right is in need of a psychiatrist.
Okay, Dickon, just forget I asked. What's that?
A rubber band.
Oh. Do you collect rubber bands?
No, not always. Only when I see them lying about. I have a tidy mind.
Oh, well, I dare say you'd find a pretty peculiar collection if you turned out at my desk.
You said it. What did you want, then?
What?
Well, you came in here yelling. What for?
For heaven's sake, I can't remember. Oh, aye. I want somebody to check on Councillor White's exact words at the meeting last night. Mike's just rung through from the printers.
Okay, I can do that.
Was it you that covered the meeting?
No, it was Jill Moon.
Oh, aye, that's right. And, of course, there's no sign of her.
It's okay. I'll get on to the council offices. They'll give me the details.
Right. And when Gill shows up, tell her I want to see her.
Okay.
My God, there's got to be some changes round here.
Come in, both of you. Sorry to drag you away from laying up the table, Sophie, but I wanted you to hear this with Rob. It's going to mean a complete alteration in the way we run the place.
Well, what is?
That's just what I'm about to tell you.
Oh.
It's the chef business, is it?
That's right. Matt's found a chef for the freezer plant, so as from Monday, Andre will be coming back to us.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, I should have thought it was fairly clear, Sophie. He'll be working here all day instead of at the freezer.
Well, cooking here, you mean?
Yes.
Oh. That's going to be quite a tall order, isn't it?
Well, you managed it before.
Yes, but we had fewer customers then, and they didn't get half the choice they do now.
I realise that, Sophie, and we don't want to narrow our range. We'll just have to get organised.
Then I suggest the first thing you do is buy another couple of ovens.
We won't manage with what we've got?
Not a hope. Not if we're cooking from scratch. Microwave ovens aren't going to be much use for that, are they?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, they'll be all right for the roasts, of course, but both bourguignon, chicken Kiev, I wouldn't do it.
Luckily, you won't have to, Rob. Andre will be in charge of the kitchen.
Right.
Oh, you'll still be doing your puddings, of course. The sweets trolleys are one of our specialities. As I say, we don't want to lower our standards at all, but with a little adaptability and enthusiasm, I think we should be able to cope.
And how does Andre feel about it?
Well, in some ways, he's pleased. I mean, I think he'll enjoy cooking for people much more than he enjoyed cooking for a freezer. The slight snag, of course, is that his working day will be different. He'll miss the 9 to 5 hours he's had at the freezer.
Oh, you made enough fuss about them at the beginning, remember?
Yes, well, Andre enjoys being difficult. You know how temperamental chefs are. Now, just make a fuss of him. Lots of tact and charm from you two, and he'll settle back in no time.
Oh, I'll bush him up non-stop.
And you, Rob?
Oh, yes. Tact and charm are my middle names.
Mike, come along in.
Afternoon, Milton.
Nice to see you. Sit down. If it weren't for your trips out here, I don't think we'd have set eyes on each other more than once every month or so.
Well, we haven't even met each other every Thursday.
No, as a matter of fact, I've been thinking. When your successor takes over, it might be a good idea to make it a more regular arrangement. A drink with me here in the evening before he goes home. Give us a chance to discuss policy points. Keep in touch. Do you think he'd feel I was breathing down his neck a bit? Now, what would your reaction be?
You don't want mine, ask him.
Oh, well, we'll have to see, won't we?
You haven't made any decision yet, I suppose?
Well, now, would that be fair, with applications still coming in? Your woman's page editor's put in for it, by the way. The lovely Liz Warner.
Good.
Do I gather she'd be your choice?
Yes.
I see. You think she'd be better than Maurice?
Well, if it's going to be an internal appointment, yes.
Why?
Well, Maurice is an excellent journalist, but...
He doesn't happen to share your view.
Oh, I don't think that's so important. No, in a way, you want an editor and his second-in-command to have a slightly different approach. They complement each other.
So, all personal feelings aside, you think Liz Warner would make a better editor?
She's better with people. She's got better judgment.
In spite of the Lady Thackeray business.
Oh, there's nothing there to make me change my mind. That was quite a coup getting Thelma Goff to give an interview, and it was a good article. As you'd agree if you'd read it.
Oh, I have. And I do.
Well, then.
I read it 3 times, after I'd had a chat with Lady Thackeray.
Well, there was nothing faintly libelous.
No?
So what are you objecting to?
I'm not objecting. Lady Thackeray is. And anyone with all this feeling for people might have realized she would object.
I see. So what do you think Liz should have done?
If she talked to Lady Thackeray first...
Then she'd have been advised not to publish the article.
Quite.
And you really think that we shouldn't have published it without getting Lady Thackeray's permission?
It would have saved us a lot of trouble.
We should have suppressed the faction.
They weren't facts. They were opinions.
There was nothing libelous in that article. The press council's bound to throw out any complaint.
That is trouble, Mike. Whether the complaint stands up or not.
So, do we publish Lady Thackeray's reply, even though it's scurrilous?
The Herald's a local paper. We can keep it local.
But I thought Lady Thackeray wanted her sister's statements refuted at national level.
No. She just wants a hit back. That's all.
You mean she'll be quite happy if the Herald is the only paper that carries it?
That's right.
Well, I take my hat off to you, Milton. I don't know how you managed it.
I've had a lot of practice. And Miss Warner helped.
She did?
Oh, yes. By being such a nice woman. That was how Lady T described her.
She isn't going to change her mind about the letter, though.
Well, at least she was convinced the whole thing isn't some great plot to blacken her mother's name. And between you and me, I think she realizes her letter goes over the edge a bit, so she's quite happy for it to have a limited release.
I see.
Let's just steer clear of anything more like that for a bit, though, shall we? Being nice doesn't always get you off the hook. Nice, though, Miss Warner is.
We publish, then?
Oh, yes, but inconspicuously. No one will notice. I'll see to that.
That's ridiculous, Mike. Her sister will see it. She'll notice, won't she?
Well, I don't think that worries Milton very much.
Probably not.
Thelma Goff's not very likely to bring an action.
No, she hasn't got the money or the right sort of temperament. She'll just suffer in silence. Honestly, I think it's absolutely bloody.
Well, I can't say I like it, but that's the way Milton's decided to wriggle out of it. So I rang to say you don't have to worry anymore.
I don't.
Well, there won't be any repercussions. As long as you print that letter on the woman's page. As low down as possible.
And if I don't?
Well, there isn't a viable alternative, Liz. Unless you can come up with one.
All right, Mike.
Well, you might give it thought. Regards to Peter.
Yes, and to Claire. And thank you for ringing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Damn!
Oh, what's the matter, darling?
Oh, Milton seems to think I'm a nice woman.
Well, he ought to see you now.
Nice little woman, vaguely derogatory, to be patted on the head and told I'm a good girl, and he expects me to print Lady Thackeray's letter in full without a murmur.
And are you going to?
I don't know what to do, Peter.
Then, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes, of course.
On one condition.
What?
That you come straight through to the kitchen afterwards and sit down at the table, because I'm serving the soup.
Oh, darling, is supper ready? I'm so sorry. I haven't helped at all.
Stop being nice.
No, I really meant to.
I
honestly.
don't mean nice to me, you tweet. I mean to Lady Thackeray. Play it really dirty. Give Milton Monk the surprise of his life.
Yes, but how?
No, that's up to you.
Yes, that's more or less what Mike said. That it was up to me to produce an alternative.
Did he?
Yes.
Well, there you are. And Mike and I know you a lot better than Milton Monk does. We know you're not a nice woman. We know the real you. Ruthless, powerful, wily. You'll come up with something, darling.
Is it, chicken soup?
You're going to have to do a lot better than that.
Come on.
Who is it?
What on earth have you got the chain on for?
Dickon, why didn't you say?
What to? A closed door? What's happened to the bell?
I disconnected it.
Why?
Because Maurice kept ringing me.
When?
The other night.
He came back, you mean?
He tried to.
To stay?
I've no idea. I wouldn't let him in.
Oh, that was a bit tough, wasn't it?
I didn't want to see him. He had some garbled story about having left 2 shirts in the cupboard.
And he hadn't, you mean?
Oh, yes, they were there.
You might have given them back to him, Cressy.
I did.
Oh, that's all right, then.
I threw them out of the window.
I can't say Maurice Gill is my favourite man, but you make me feel quite sorry for him.
Oh, I told him I was going to. He was down there. He only had to pick them up.
Why couldn't you just hand them to him in a civilized way?
Because I don't feel civilized about Maurice. Vodka?
No, thanks.
Scotch?
Even worse.
Well, I shall, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead. As long as you aren't doing it too often.
What? Having a drink?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want you trying to drown your sorrows.
I'm not the type to hit the bottle. I'd much rather hit Maurice.
You are off him.
On the contrary, I'm crazy about him.
Still?
More than ever.
You always were pretty weird.
That's why I don't want to see him, really. I couldn't take it. I should just melt.
Oh. Go ahead, then. What's wrong with melting?
If I melt now, he's going to walk all over me in hobnail boots for the rest of my life.
Thought you rather liked that.
I always did fall for terribly unsuitable men, didn't I? Remember when I was 15, that tennis coach?
All those lost tennis balls. You used to go and look for them in the shrubbery.
Yes. Never got much further than a mild pass.
Didn't?
Well, what do you think?
Oh, I never really knew.
I shied off. My upbringing stood me in frightfully good stead.
Maybe that's the trouble with us.
What?
Well, our upbringing. Well, we're a terribly non-touching sort of family, aren't we?
Are we?
Yes, sort of stiff upper lip, and it isn't terribly done to show emotion or physical affection, except to the dog.
You're getting awfully introspective, aren't you? Why don't you have a drink?
There you are, you see. You don't like it.
Don't like what?
You're all embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed. I thought you came here to cheer me up, that's all.
No.
The thing is, if I let Maurice walk all over me now, it wouldn't be for all my life. It'd last about 6 months, then it'd be over.
So what?
I'm serious about him, Dickon. What did you come here for, anyway? No, don't tell me. A meal?
Well, I wouldn't say no.
Scrambled egg, sausages?
Both.
Okay.
That wasn't why I came, though. I wanted to ask you something.
Well?
Do you think I'm normal?
No, I don't. I think you're very peculiar. What do you mean, normal?
Well, you know.
Straight, you mean? Hetero?
Yes.
Now you're embarrassed.
I just want your opinion, that's all.
Dickon, that's what I mean about you being peculiar. I mean, surely you know.
I thought I did. I mean, I don't fancy blokes. I fancy girls. Quite a few of them, actually.
When was the last time?
The last time?
Yes.
The last time what?
The last time you slept with a girl.
Cambridge.
Oh, Dickon.
But I've been busy. I mean, there are other things in life. I suppose I'm just sort of academically inclined. And not very attractive.
Oh, of course you're attractive, you great nit. You're lovely.
I haven't got much machismo.
That's not everything. Look, I think you better get started, and the sooner the better. You must make an effort, Dickon.
I just paid a call on our bank manager.
You are?
You heard. And I got rather a shock. What have you done with the money, Matt?
I'm planning to spend it on riotous living in the south of France.
I'm serious.
Well, there wasn't all that much there for starters. Buying the freezer van nearly cleaned us out.
At the time. But we built it up again, and now our account is down to nothing, practically.
Well, the check's come through already, has it? That's quick.
What was it for?
More freezer cabinets.
More?
That's right. I'm going to need a lot more storage space.
And you just calmly spent that money on the freezer plant without saying a word to me?
Well, you were after it too, weren't you? Were you going to say anything to me?
That is a joint account, Matt, which I think we'd better alter pretty quickly. I've opened another, and I've arranged a loan.
What for?
I'm buying ovens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're going to need them, aren't you?
Yes. What I can't see exactly is why you need more freezer space when you won't have anything to put in it.
Well, I'm going to have, though, aren't I?
Not unless you enlarge your cooking area.
I am doing.
That bakery shed isn't elastic, Matt.
But I'm not enlarging it in space. I am enlarging it in time.
What are you talking about?
The shift system. I've just fixed the second chef. One's going to work all day, one's going to work all night.
That's from when?
Monday night. They're both starting Monday.
You're mad.
No, just prepared to take a calculated risk, that's all. You can't stand still in business. You either go forward or you go back.
All right. I take your point. Expand if you really must, but do it gradually.
Well, I would, if I had the option. But I've had this offer. 500 frozen lunches a day. If you turn that sort of chance down, you don't deserve to get on.
I don't think I could go through that bankruptcy business again, Matt.
We weren't bankrupt. We went into liquidation.
Isn't once enough?
2 businesses, with a turnover of thousands, starting from scratch, and only 1 crash. That's not a bad track record.
You'll always be like this, won't you?
No. Another 10 years, and then I'll be creaking a bit, coming apart at the seams. I'm starting to get cold feet, and drinking too much Campari and soda.
Like me, you mean?
Oh, don't be daft, love. No, but I reckon I've got about another good 10 years before I start slowing up, so it's got to be now. And you love me just the way I am. You know you do. That's right. Take your coat off. And, come and sit down, eh? Can't stand arguing with people when they're standing up.
Haven't got time. Got to get lunch ready. Where's Alexis?
Sitting on his bottom up in his bedroom.
What is he doing up there?
Looking at girly magazines, I dare say.
Why up there, Matt?
Because I couldn't stand the sight of him doing it down here. Ruddy little layabout.
He does have a broken leg. You don't really like anyone just sitting, do you, Matt? Just simply relaxing.
I like you two. And you don't do enough of it. Come on. Come and sit down here next to me.
I'm going to prepare the vegetables. You do realize, don't you? You may be starting round-the-clock cooking on Monday, but you haven't a hope of getting your new freezers installed by then.
Nope.
So where are you going to put it all?
Oh, just have to empty the freezers I've got, won't I?
What do you mean?
Unload stock. I've got 3 of the local delis taking a lot, and you'll have to cart off what's left of the prior stuff.
But there's a lot there still, Matt. We haven't got nearly enough freezer space for all that at the restaurant.
Oh, that's your problem, isn't it?
We can't take it, that's all.
We've got to, Rob. Matt wants the lot out by Monday.
He's not going to want all that space straight on.
We will by the end of the week.
And we'll move it by the end of the week. We can use a fair amount in 5 days.
But Andre's starting here on Monday.
He can have a nice, easy week then, can't he?
All right. I'll ask Matt if we can do it your way. He might play ball.
Shall I ask him?
Why?
Well, I could do it a bit more casually. Take the heat off a bit.
All right, Rob. Let me know what success you have.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, we'd better have a stock list of all the frozen stuff we've got at the old bakery, and I'll work out some new menus.
The sooner we use it up, the better.
Exactly. And with any luck, it'll give us another week to get our buying organised.
Who'll be doing that?
You.
Which is going to mean some pretty early mornings.
I'm sorry. I can't, Rob. I want to be around at home to get Jeremy off to school.
Yeah, of course.
Heaven knows what it's going to be like at the bakery with work going on there all night.
It's quite a good idea of Matt's, though. Better than the Waggoners walk deli he was thinking about.
Oh, you didn't take him seriously, did you?
He was going to apply for a lease.
Blast freezing's practically light industry. We'd never have got permission to do it there. He was just getting after those squatters.
Yeah, they do seem to get up his nose a bit, don't they?
Damn cold in here, Debbie. I don't know how you stick it.
Your feet, that's your trouble.
Oh, don't you start. Quite enough of that from Maurice Gill.
Good old Maurice. Still chucking his weight around, is he? It's almost worth being pregnant just to get out of his way for a bit.
Yes, I'll have to think of something else.
It's going to be hell when he's editor. I suppose he's a dead cert for it.
You never know. There are some outside applications, I gather. Could go to one of them.
Yeah, so you said. Anyway, keep your fingers crossed.
If I cross them here, I'll have to. They'll freeze together.
Here, have a corner of the rug.
Can I light another candle?
Can't you see?
In a dim sort of way. It's not the light, though. I just thought it might give out a bit of heat.
Oh, come under the rug. There. Better?
Oh, yes. That's much more cosy.
Mm.
When are you going to get the electricity turned on? Or aren't they giving you permission?
Oh, yeah, we'll be lit up Monday. In every way, we're having a party to celebrate.
Can I come?
Of course you can. You don't have to ask. Just have to bring a bottle. We might even let you throw the switch.
What do you mean?
Well, look at the celebrities who get to turn on the lights in Regent Street and Blackpool Illuminations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got our own. Our very own Dickon Firth.
And don't slam the door when I'm in the middle of talking to you, Sue. It's extremely rude.
Go away.
Come here.
No, I won't.
Come back here this minute.
What is it?
Did you hear what I said about tidying your room?
I was going to tidy it.
If you'd said that in the first place, I wouldn't have had to call you back again, would I?
Oh, really?
And I want it done now, please. Not in another 2 hours. That room is a disgrace.
Oh. Hello? What was all that about then?
I was just coming to tell you, darling. Some more people are calling to see the house.
Oh, when?
This morning, about 12.
Here we go again.
Oh, don't do a Sue on me.
Like slamming the door?
Don't, Mike. I sounded like an old fishwife, didn't I? But honestly, she's being absolutely bloody-minded at the moment.
And it isn't just a few things strewn round her room. She's emptied about 3 drawers full.
Well, I know how she feels. There wouldn't be any more coffee going, would there?
Yes, of course.
Oh, Bath is like a distant mirage. I can't believe we're ever going to get things sorted out at this end.
Well, they say moving house is one of the biggest traumas in life. It even comes before bereavement.
What do you mean, comes before?
On the list of traumatic experiences.
Good God, you mean somebody's actually made a list?
Yes.
Where does changing your job come on that list?
I can't remember.
I don't suppose it has resigning as editor on it.
No.
Yeah.
Poor darling. Quite a wrench, isn't it?
Ah, thanks. If only I knew who I was leaving the Herald to. It's like abandoning your child to a total stranger.
You don't think one of the outside applicants will get it, do you?
No idea.
And do you think Liz really has dished her chances with the Lady Thackeray thing?
Well, she never really had more than an outside chance, I suppose. But I still hope she does something about that. I hate to see her knuckling under to old Milt. I'd like her to give him a bit of a jolt, that's all. She stood up to him pretty well when I left her to cope on her own the other day.
Mike, you didn't by any chance leave Liz to it on purpose, did you?
Well, let's say I was quite pleased I had to go off to the printers.
Why?
Well, I wanted to see whether she'd get rattled.
And she didn't?
No.
Just as well. It was taking rather a risk, wasn't it? A bit hard on poor Liz.
Oh, I think Liz has got a lot more of what it takes than she realizes herself. It needs bringing out a bit, that's all. And if that...
Mummy? What's the matter now?
Daddy was in the middle of saying something, darling. It's always a good idea to wait and see when you come into a room. Not barge in talking. Never mind. What was it you wanted?
Do I have to tidy my bookshelves as well?
No, just the floor.
You said I had to tidy my room.
Darling, just so that we can actually walk into it when these people arrive.
I wish they didn't have to come round.
So do we all. Oh, and make the bed.
Oh, no, honestly.
Oops. That young lady's going to get a good slap before long.
You can't really blame her, Mike.
What do you mean?
Well, we're making enough fuss, and we want to go to Bath. She doesn't want to go at all, so it's not surprising she's fed up.
Oh, I can see why you're getting sick of it, George.
Yes, it's not that it's all that loud, it's just penetrating. You know, I can hear it going round in my head sometimes when I lie down at night.
Oh, dear. Well, I put the shepherd's pie in the fridge.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Shirley, but you shouldn't have bothered her. Really, you shouldn't.
Well, I was making one. I thought I might as well make 2.
It'll just come into my supper tonight.
I wasn't going to ask you round because I'm working. You know, I've got quite a lot of reading to do. But if you want to get away from that,
I wouldn't dream of bothering you, dear. And I don't suppose it'll still be going on then. I hope not, anyway. Oh, it's just not my kind of music, I'm afraid.
You call that music?
Who are we to say, Shirley? To each his own. And he's a very nice young man, Mungie. I feel quite sorry for him sometimes.
Why?
Well, he does his best. And it can be a bit difficult for him. I mean, when all those school children come swarming in, the noise they make, chattering and picking things up. Between you and me, I think there's quite a bit of pinching goes on.
Oh, well, that explains the notice.
Notice?
Stuck on the shop door. Only 2 school children at a time.
Good for Mungie. I don't blame him. It'll cut down a bit of the noise, too.
Oh, it must be rotten, mustn't it? Not quite having got the language right yet, not quite being used to things.
That's why those children come here, if you ask me, just taking advantage.
George, listen.
Oh, like heaven, isn't it? Silence.
Well, I'll leave you to enjoy it, okay?
Bye-bye, dear.
Bye.
Ah. Oh, no. No, this is too much. I'm sorry, Kath. I'll miss this place. I will miss it, but I can't go on like this. just got to move. Oh, is that Rowland and Watkins, the estate agents? Shirley, could you hold on a moment, please?
It's all right, George. It's something I forgot. I'll come back later.
Oh. I'm sorry about that. Are you there? This is Mr. George Underdown speaking.
Come back like this, Lady Thackeray?
That's perfectly all right. I'm lunching at home today, and I haven't any guests, so I can spare you another 10 minutes.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Mr. Monk told me the whole thing had been sorted out.
Not very satisfactorily.
Indeed?
Well, I imagine you must have been slightly doubtful, too, or you wouldn't have agreed to see me.
I agreed to see you, Miss Warner, because you seem to me a sensible, straightforward sort of person, and I can hardly believe you'd waste my time unless you had something of importance to say. Will you have a sherry?
No, thank you.
Well?
Mr. Monk seemed to think that you'd be quite happy to have your letter printed in a fairly inconspicuous position, Lady Thackeray, where not much attention would be drawn to it.
That seemed to me probably the best thing.
May I ask you in that case why you're concerned to have it published in the paper at all?
A rather impertinent question.
Perfectly reasonable one, though, surely.
It's hardly surprising, is it, that I should want to answer my sister?
Why not meet her and simply talk to her?
I think my answer should be made public.
With as little publicity as possible. Oh, come on now, Lady Thackeray.
Thelma chose to raise this matter publicly, and I shall answer her in the same way. Now, if you'll excuse me, Miss Warner, I don't think we have anything more to say to each other.
If that's how you feel. I do just think I ought to say one thing to you before I go.
Oh, very well.
If you insist on us printing this letter, it will be to maximum publicity.
But Mr. Monk assured me
I've already had inquiries from Junior Spellgrove, wanting to know if there was going to be any follow-up. He's been on to me several times. So have two of the other nationals. In fact, my telephone has been hot, Lady Thackeray. If we publish, there'll be a lot more inquiries.
You don't have to answer them.
No, but I shall, in detail. And I shall make sure your letter isn't missed by anyone.
You can't possibly do that.
Oh, I can, very easily. It's part of my job as a journalist.
When I've spoken to Mr. Monk, it's very unlikely that you'll have a job, Miss Warner.
Well, he can't sack all the journalists in Fleet Street. There are an awful lot of them, and an awful lot of gossip columns, and women's magazines who might be interested, and I can't possibly prevent them getting the facts, can I? Family feuds in public always look nasty, and people can be so spiteful.
I don't like your tone, young woman.
No, I didn't think you would. I wanted to be sure you realized the position, though.
And I don't like being threatened.
Oh, it's hardly that. But if you're really concerned, at the moment, not many people have read those comments about your mother. Publish that letter, and you make quite sure everyone reads them.
Just let me get this straight, Liz. You went to Lady Thackeray and said...
What I told Lady Thackeray was made quite clear at the editorial meeting, I thought.
Well, have you told Milton Monk yet what you've done?
No, I didn't see the necessity.
Oh, well, he'll know soon enough.
Since somebody else will be ringing him.
Are you suggesting that I pass information to Milton?
I was thinking of Lady Thackeray, actually.
Oh, what's going on in my office? Sitting?
I was waiting to talk to you.
And I was waiting to take you over to the pub for a drink.
Oh, well, first things first. What was it you wanted, Maurice?
I want to know what line you propose to take, now that Liz has gone against a directive from the proprietor.
Well, I think we wait to see what line Milton takes, don't you? And Lady Thackeray.
I see. Well, it was bloody high-handed, if you want to know my opinion.
You didn't say that at the meeting.
I was completely flabbergasted at the meeting.
Yes, it made quite a nice change.
It was also damned irresponsible of you.
Well, what have you to say to that, Liz?
I asked Mr. Monk to let me sort out the Thelma Goff article and Lady Thackeray, and he agreed. I was simply acting on that brief.
In direct opposition to what he just told Mike.
That was my decision.
No, it was not. It was not your decision to make. That was an editorial decision.
May I remind you that I am the editor of the Woman's Page, on which the letter is supposed to appear?
But you're not the editor of the paper.
No, and neither are you, Maurice.
Mike Nash?
Perhaps we'd better not go into that.
Oh, hello, Donny.
You are aware I've applied for the post, though?
Well, no, it isn't a very good moment,
I
really.
know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I wouldn't argue with
Well,
that.
of course, it's really important.
And perhaps now is the moment to tell you that I've put in for the job, too.
Oh, marvellous. What? Marvellous stuff.
What is?
Oh, we've got a buyer for the house.
Mike,
Is that you? Oh, darling, I'm so thrilled.
Yeah, pretty good, isn't it? I never thought we'd get an offer that quickly.
Nor did I. Oh, my.
Wait, steady on, steady on. There's something in my coat pocket I don't want broken.
What?
This here.
Champagne.
Sorry, it's only half a bottle, but it ought to do the two of us.
Just as well Sue's out to tea.
Yes, just as well, considering what her reaction to the news would have been.
Strychnine, more like.
Now, here, you hold on to this.
Oh, thanks.
Who is it, by the way? Anyone we've seen yet?
What?
Who's buying? I wondered if it was the Saturday morning couple.
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, Claire, didn't you ask?
Of course I did. But it's being done through the estate agents. The buyer's anonymous.
Oh, well, that sounds odd.
Oh, I don't see that it matters. It's probably some business company. The agents seem perfectly satisfied with them, and they always check up thoroughly. Oh, I'm sorry I rang you at the wrong moment this morning.
Oh, didn't matter.
Was it very awkward?
Well, it was rather opportune in some ways. Liz and Maurice were in the middle of a row.
Just as well I broke it up then.
Yes, gave them time to simmer down.
I can't imagine Liz having a row with anyone.
Oh, can't you? She was doing rather well today. Splendidly icy. She doesn't shout as much as Maurice, of course.
Oh, no, I can imagine him having rows very easily.
Well, for once, he was lost for words.
Why?
Well, Liz told him she'd put in for the editorship. I've never seen a man's jaw literally drop before.
Be a bit difficult for her if he gets it, though, won't it?
Oh, I don't see why. Might make him take her a bit more seriously. He was bound to be told sometime. You can't keep that sort of thing quiet. Anyway, I don't suppose Liz would want that.
Was that what the row was about?
Oh, no. It was the Thelma Goff interview.
What's happened about that?
Well, it's a long story. Hey, look, you better put that bottle in the fridge first. I can't wait for my glass of champers.
You won't have to, darling.
What?
Because I've been even more extravagant than you. There's a bottle in the fridge already. Full size.
Peter, darling. Oh, it's worked.
Wait a minute, darling. I've got wet hands.
Oh, I couldn't care less. You're very clever, darling. You were absolutely right.
Lady Thackeray's withdrawn the letter.
Yes.
My God, that's a relief.
Oh, you don't know how much. She didn't ring through till 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, darling, and you've been in suspense all that time.
Well, I'd have rung you if I'd known any earlier. Actually, I was beginning to despair. It was an awfully sticky editorial meeting. I explained the situation. Oh, I told Mike already, of course, before we went in.
What did he say?
Not much. I thought I caught approval, but I couldn't really tell. It's being a bit odd for Mike, leaving it all to me this way.
And how's Milton reacted?
Oh, I don't know, and I don't care. The great thing is that Thelma Goff won't be faced with that god-awful letter. Oh, and I told Maurice, by the way.
What?
That I'd applied for the editor's job.
Darling, you've had quite a day, haven't you?
Well, it's lovely to be home. Well, how's that throat of yours?
Oh, coming on. These things go in their own good time.
What on earth's that doing there? It's Arthur's Tantalus.
Yes.
I absolutely loathe it.
Well, it's a good Victorian piece, actually, darling.
Yes, typical of the Victorians. Leave your drink about where the servants can see it and lock it up so they can't get at it. It'll have to go, Peter.
Any suggestions as to where?
Well, why can't Arthur have it in his own room?
Well, he's got quite a lot of stuff up there already.
Oh, no. Well, in the sitting room, then, if he really has to. There's definitely no room for it in this kitchen.
Yes, well, darling, there's not exactly much room for it in the sitting room now.
Peter, do you stop burying your face in the pans for a minute and tell me what is going on?
Darling, I think you'd better go and ask Father.
I'm extremely sorry, Elizabeth, but what else was I to do?
All right, Arthur, all right.
After all, one has very little left in life at my age. One's few treasures mean a great deal.
I know. But the thing is, there aren't a few of them, Arthur. There are an awful lot.
Well, they seem few to me. They're all that remains of the past 80 years. At my age, Elizabeth, I'm afraid one simply exists in one's memories. You'll understand one day.
I understand now, Arthur. Believe me, I do, and I'm very sympathetic. It's just that this house isn't exactly large, and with 3 small children in
Well,
it...
4 children, really, darling, as soon as Jeremy comes back.
I see. You're joining in now, are you, Peter? You're turning against me, too.
Now, of course I'm not, Father.
You didn't say anything when we drove to collect the things.
Well, you didn't give me much chance. In any case, I didn't know we were going to bring back so many.
Well, did you want them to be disposed of over my head? I intend to rescue a lot more yet.
Oh.
I still don't understand.
It was perfectly simple, I've told you. George is selling the Cane House flat.
Yes, But he isn't doing it tomorrow.
Well, what does it matter when he's doing it?
Well, there's probably plenty of time to arrange to have the things stored.
Stored? I see. You suggest that everything that gives meaning to my life should be packed in mothballs, stored in a repository.
No, not everything. You could pick out the things that really matter.
They all matter.
Well, you don't appear to have missed them for the last 2 months. You've never even mentioned them until now.
Father, Liz is quite right, you know.
Oh.
You could pick out the things that matter to you most, and we could organise
When do they actually have to be out?
I've no idea.
But George must have said, surely.
No.
How did you find out that George was thinking of selling the flat, Arthur?
I happened to ring up to tell him that I was returning there.
Returning?
As it's crystal clear that I'm unwanted here.
Oh, rubbish.
Is it rubbish, Elizabeth? Is it?
Now, you know perfectly well.
I'm asking Elizabeth, am I wanted here?
I hadn't thought it would be ideal for any of us. For you particularly, if you moved in here for good. On the other hand, if you've really decided that that's what you want to do...
What alternative is there for me? Now George has stabbed me in the back.
There are several possibilities, I'm sure. In any case, even if you do decide to leave here, there's certainly no rush from our point of view.
And I don't really think you can say George has stabbed you in the back, Father. He did ask you if you'd ever want to go back to Cane House, and you said no.
And is no one ever to be allowed to change their minds? It's all right for George.
Well, it's the same for George as it is for you.
Nash. He's 30 years younger than I am. Well, 24. And he's obviously found himself a nice little bachelor flat in Vale End. He said he was thinking about it.
So that's what you were ringing the estate agents about?
What's that, Shirley?
Selling the flat. You're a dark horse, aren't you?
I beg your pardon?
Here, have another pineapple ring.
Oh, well, I don't mind if I do. Very refreshing, aren't they? Any kirsch to go with them?
No, you'll be lucky. Did they say how long they thought it'd take?
I didn't ask, but I don't envisage any difficulty. Oh, thank you, dear. They're nice flats.
Modern?
Well, hardly.
Well, compared to this.
I think you've made this very cosy. Very homely. It's a pity it's a basement, of course, but there you are.
What's wrong with a basement?
Oh, a little airless, perhaps. If you don't get all the sun, you might.
Oh, we do on this side.
Yes. Oh, I do hope I'm doing the right thing.
Well, if you do want to go back to Cane House, it's a bit pointless keeping it on, isn't it?
But there's always Arthur.
He said he was going to live with his family, didn't he? Permanently.
Yeah, but one never knows quite where one is with Arthur. He telephoned me this morning, and I got a very strong feeling that he was hankering to go back there.
Too bad, George.
I always feel responsible for Arthur somehow. I don't know why.
You feel responsible for far too many people, you know, me and Cliff included.
You still think I'm being a bit high-handed, don't you? Taking charge of Kath's money for you?
No. Well, no, not high-handed exactly. I can see your point. Well, I don't know that Cliff ever will mind.
He seems to have forgiven me for it, more or less.
Well, we're not going to pick a quarrel with you, George, but we're not kids either. We're old enough to make a mess of our lives in our own way.
Granted. But I'm not having Cliff make a mess of your life for you, Shirley. I'm quite fond of Cliff, but you are Kath's daughter. You're important to me.
Yeah, well, don't let's start on all that again. I'd just like you to feel you've only got yourself to bother about. That you're getting a nice flat. You're not happy over the shop anymore. You know you're not.
No, I'm not. There's no denying it.
You got any ideas yet?
Yes. That's why I'm selling the Cane House flat. I need the money.
Well, what about Mum's money from the shop?
I regard that as yours and Cliff's.
Well, not all of it.
I regard myself as holding it in trust. What in the world's that?
It sounds as if they're calling for Dickon. You know, Dickon Firth, the boy in the top flat.
Yes, I know Dickon.
Shut up, will you? I'm coming.
Oh, young hooligan.
Probably that party down the road.
What party?
The delicatessen.
What, the squatters, you mean?
Yes. Quite a lot of music coming from there when I crossed the road. Lights blazing.
Oh.
Hi.
Hello. Who are you?
Vicky, have you brought a bottle?
What do you think this is? A balloon?
In that case, you can come in. You better tell me who you are first, though.
Oh, I'm Dickon.
Oh, you're Dickon. Why didn't you say? He's come!
I say, do you always go round dressed like that?
Only for parties. I can slip into something loose if you'd rather.
Oh, no. Looks very nice to me.
Thank you. You'd better go up and see Debbie first. It's urgent.
What's the matter, Debbie?
I feel bloody awful.
Oh, yes. Say, you look it. Have you got a temperature?
Shouldn't be surprised.
Neither should I. The racket that's going on downstairs. Any pain?
No.
Oh, dear, what is it? Don't cry. What's the matter?
I can't stop. That's what's the matter.
Oh, don't be silly.
I'm not. I can't. I've been crying for years and now I can't stop.
Well, it stopped when I came in.
Go back and come in again then.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, what am I going to do?
Here.
What are you up to?
I'm holding you.
Oh.
Just keep crying. Go on, keep crying. God, it's difficult to get near you with all that stomach.
Oh.
All right. Keep going. Quite rhythmical, really. How long have you been doing this?
About now.
You must be awfully tired.
I am.
I'm not surprised. Keep going. That's it. You're nice and warm.
So are you.
Good. Come on, you're letting up. What did you want to see me for, anyway?
I wanted you to cheer me up.
I wouldn't mind someone doing that for me. I don't feel very cheerful either.
You're the same.
Well, I have felt more blithe and bonny. You don't want me, you know. What you want is a hot water bottle. And an aspirin. They're always Cressy's answer to everything. Oh, are you allowed?
What?
Aspirin.
Why not?
Well, I mean, what does your doctor say?
Oh, he's given me tranquilizers.
You sure they're all right?
Why not? I couldn't care less anyway.
Where are they?
Dunno. Oh, they're on the crate. Oh, no, don't move, no. No, you can reach them.
Just about.
Good. Give them here.
How many are you supposed to have?
I'm only taking one.
All right.
I don't know what's come over me. Tranquilizers. Hey, what are you moving for?
I was going to get you some water.
Oh, no. Keep holding me.
How are you going to swallow it?
I'll chew it.
Okay.
Yuck.
You'll feel better soon.
Feel better now. A bit.
That's right.
Promise me something.
What?
Just stay here like this till I go to sleep.
Oh. Yes, I think I can manage that.
Good. Thanks.
Think nothing of it. I'll be here.
You know something, Dickon? You'd make a much better mother than I would.
Oh, good Lord.
Jeremy, why aren't you asleep, darling?
I'm watching.
Watching what?
What's going on in the freezer plant?
You can't see anything from that window, can you?
Yes, I can see the lights.
Oh, yes. Through the skylight. I think you'll have to promise to keep your curtains closed tomorrow night, darling.
Oh.
Come on now, lie down.
And I can smell the cooking.
So can I.
They're making steak and kidney pies, aren't they?
Very probably.
You can smell them.
Yes. Tuck down, please, Jeremy.
It's fun, isn't it?
That's better. Good night, darling.
Mummy, are you and Matt cross with each other?
No. Well, yes, we are.
Oh.
But it's grown up and it's perfectly all right. Now, promise me, please, that you won't get out of bed after I've gone.
I promise.
I'll be back before long.
Where are you going?
To the restaurant. Just for a little while. See how everything's going.
Does Andre like being back at the restaurant instead of here?
I'm sure he does, darling.
I wouldn't.
Well, Andre does. Now, good night.
No, I do not allow it.
Just keep your voice down, please, Mr. Villeneuve.
You are telling me to shut up?
No, just to stop shouting. The customers can hear.
Then you bring back my sweet trolley.
It's here.
And you take off the roulade.
That's one of Pryor's specialities.
The specialities here are my specialities. Also, that cake.
That is coffee meringue gatto, and it's the most popular sweet on the trolley.
Not anymore. Jane, you will remove it, please.
Blimey.
You will place there the butterscotch trifle. Thank you. And the rhubarb compote. Excellent. And now the sweet trolley may go.
Well, what am I to do with the other two things?
I shall not suggest.
Put them in the fridge, Jane.
Well, there isn't any room.
Well, just put them on the side there, then. We'll find room for them on the trolley later.
Over my dead body.
If necessary. Okay, wheel it in.
It looks good.
It looked pretty good before.
We don't argue. Besides, what is the point? Either I am the chef or I am not the chef. Why am I here?
No comment.
Please, I wish to speak.
I have to get back to the customers, Mr. Villeneuve.
And I have to please them. I am a master chef, diploma.
You're a superb chef, Mr. Villeneuve. No one's disputing that.
Then I am satisfied.
Table 4's asking for the coffee meringue gatto.
Sacre bleu! Nom de nom de Dieu, de Dieu!
What is going on in here? What's the matter, Andre?
Matter? Mrs. Pryor. He interferes. I run the kitchen. Here I am in charge of the cuisine. I do not have a manager cooking.
Of course not, Andre.
Then please take him away.
You'd better go through.
Right.
You too, Jane. Now, Andre. Oh, and take that coffee gatto with you. Someone's left it off the trolley. Hello? Oh, well, look who's here.
Oh, hi, Debbie.
Hi. What's the matter with you? You look a wreck.
Yeah, I feel it.
Had a good sleep.
You must be joking.
Well, you were out like a light last time I saw you.
Come and join us.
Why don't you go and find yourself a drink?
No, come over here.
No, thanks.
All right, be like that then.
Where's Dickon? Dickon.
Oh, somewhere around.
Well, he went off with Vicky.
What do you mean he went off? Where?
It's a big party.
She dragged him off.
By the hair, man. After she clapped him.
Oh.
Mummy?
Who's that?
It's me, Mummy.
Jeremy. What are you doing here?
I can't get to sleep.
Oh, darling.
I can't. It's all the noise.
What noise?
All the cooking and things from the freezer. You can't hear it in here, but you can in my room.
It can't be that bad, Jeremy.
It is. And I've got a Latin test tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
Can I get into bed with you, Mummy?
Oh, I suppose so. Come on, then.
Can I?
Yes, but shut the door first. Matt, move up a bit, will you? Move up, darling. That's better. Oh, your feet are absolutely freezing, Jeremy. Why didn't you put your slippers on?
It's nice and warm in your bed.
Yes, well, just snuggle down, darling. There. Don't worry about the Latin. Don't worry about anything.
Oh, I can't stand any more of this.
Where are you going, Mike?
Where do you think?
You can't go over there. Not in your dressing gown. They won't take any notice anyway. Please, don't go over there,
I'm
Mike.
not going. I'm going downstairs to fix myself a drink.
Oh.
You want one?
Yes, please.
What?
Whatever you're having. Wasn't that the front door?
It sounded like it. I'll go and see.
Do be careful, darling.
You don't think I'm going to meet a burglar with a cosh, do you?
You never know.
If you hear me yell, dial 999. Hello? Anyone there? Me? Oh, Rob. It's Rob, darling.
Is he only just coming in?
You just in? Yes, I went out for a meal. All-night place. Oh. I didn't wake you up, did I? No, don't worry. I haven't been to sleep yet. You will have noticed the party down the road.
Yeah, they seem to be making quite a row, don't they?
I say. It's been like that since about 8 o'clock. Dickon's let me down.
Dickon? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Not the right time of night for heavy humours.
What did you mean about Dickon?
Well, I meant he hasn't had a particularly calming influence on them. For the party, I asked him to keep them in order. You don't want a nightcap, do you?
No, thanks, no. He's over at the party, is he?
Well, I assume so. I haven't heard him come in, anyway.
Well, maybe I'll wander over there.
What, now?
Well, I was invited. And it still seems to be going with a swing, and I haven't seen Vince or Carol for quite a while. Yeah, I think I will.
Well, maybe you'll succeed where Dickon failed.
What do you mean?
God, you're a bit slow on the uptake tonight, Rob. Look, just tell them to belt up, will you?
Blimey, enough to give you a headache for life. You're not still at it, you two, are you?
Haven't you found Dickon yet, Debbie?
No, I haven't been looking.
He's in there.
Where? There.
Go and have a deco.
I thought we were supposed to be celebrating the big turn-on. Dickon?
I say, who is it?
Turn that light off! Sorry. You're a couple of sods. You might have told me.
Told you? I should have thought it was obvious.
Well, what do you think they were doing? Playing tiddlywinks?
Waggoner's Walk was written by Barbara Clegg and directed by John Cardy and Penny Lester. The Waggoner's Walk Omnibus is broadcast each Sunday at 5 minutes. And don't forget to listen to the next episode of Waggoner's Walk tomorrow here on Radio 2 at 5 minutes past 5. Right now, the time is 6 o'clock and we join...